And there we are. Workout's in. I got my post-workout meal down the hatch and in the banger, and time to carry on with our day. I was asked by a viewer, what type of diet is it that I'm on? So I figured I'd take a moment and kind of explain that to you guys, so you got somewhat of an idea. If it matters to you or not is irrelevant. You just might be interested. So about a year and a half ago, I was probably in the best shape that I'd been in my life since I was, a young guy in his early 20s, kind of a deal. And I hurt my shoulder pretty bad in the gym, and it, I ignored it for, months and months and months, and I kept training, and it kept tearing, and it kept tearing, and it wasn't healing. It went on for about a year, and finally a year and a half ago, I'm like, wow, this is like, it got to the point where, some days I couldn't even do up my zipper on my fly. So I'm like, shit, well, I guess it's time to let it go. So I stopped working out, and I gave it a chance to heal up. Like I said, that was a year and a half ago. Over the course of that year, I probably got into the worst shape that I've ever been in my life. And even health-wise, I'm not a guy that typically gets sick, and never have in my entire life. Maybe once every couple of years kind of a thing, and then I'll get like really sick, and I'm good again for a couple of years. But I started getting sick a little bit more frequently, and I developed like a leg issue. I'm really not sure what the hell's going on there, but and I got up to about 300 pounds. So at my best, when I felt my best, I was around 248 to 255. I felt great. I was strong. I had tons of energy and endurance, and it worked for me. It was great. I felt great. When I got heavy like this here, with that extra 50 pounds that I put on, because that's the thing, I still consumed, and I love food, so I cook, and of course I eat what I cook, and you're not doing that hard physical activity. My work is as an equipment operator or as a supervisor for heavy equipment, so you don't get a whole lot of exercise doing that either. And of course, during the summer times, I'm on my bike, I'm riding my motorcycle, so you're not really using your legs a whole lot other than to balance the bike. So we come back from BC here this fall, about mid-September, and I hated the way I felt, and I said, you know what, it's time. It's time to get back to the grind. And it's tough to do when you've been on a layoff like that for a year and a half, like I have. You gotta dig deep to get yourself motivated to keep doing that day after day after day, and to hit yourself with a diet like I have, that just to reset my whole system. It's be similar to keto, really, with a few more strict things added to it. Like absolutely no sugars of any kind, no fruits, nothing like that. I won't have any dairy other than on weight days in the evenings. Before bed, I'll have organic, full fat Greek yogurt that's come from grass-fed cows. I'll throw like a half a teaspoon of raw organic honey in it, and that's my sweetness for it. Otherwise, I think the yogurt's disgusting. It needs something to it. I might also throw in like a teaspoon almond butter or something like that. And other than that, it's high fats. I get my fat sources from coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, and animal fats, avocados, eggs, those sorts of things, fish, because I believe those are all to be extremely healthy for you. I've never been one for like canola oils, vegetable oils. I do like my butter, providing that it's comes from grass-fed cows, and it's somewhat organic. That's hard to find in the stores now. When I was still on the farm and in the country, we could make it. It was easy. But in the city, it's a little tougher, and with the prices of groceries skyrocketing, it makes it very difficult too. And then, of course, you know, I eat a lot of meat, no root vegetables, which is partially a lie. Like this morning in my omelet, I think there was one tiny little carrot in with it that come in with my frozen vegetables that I threw in with my eggs, and but so be it. I have a cheat day Saturdays. At the beginning, my cheat day, I craved things, right? Things that I hadn't been consuming all the week prior. And sugar especially. Anything sweet, like that was probably the toughest one for me, was sweets and the grains from the bread. The last 2 cheat days, as soon as Saturday rolled around, gone, nothing. Like zero cravings. And the cheat foods that I have eaten, like, you know, fried potatoes or whatever, with a, you know, a breakfast from my favorite breakfast brunch place, which is Blackjack's out in Eskew. I feel sick after, so I don't want it. My body doesn't want it, and it's, you know, it's flushing itself out of my system pretty quick. So for the most part, yes, high fat content. I still eat a fair bit of protein with the high fat because I'm lifting weights. I find I have like really little strength without that carbohydrates. I gotta have some protein. If I rely just on fat, I can't lift. I need something. I need a little bit more sustenance than that. So a little bit higher in the protein than your regular keto has, and of course no refined sugars, no starches, no root vegetables, anything like that. I do 5 days a week. I'll do 30 minutes of steady state cardio, 20 minutes sometimes on the days where I've slept in and I'm doing weights. And on my lift days, which is every other day, with the exception of Thursday and Friday, which are kind of back to back with the workouts that I do there. And yeah, I'm down to, I think I'm down 25 pounds in 7 weeks. So it's working, it's going good. It's a lot harder grind when you're 48 years old versus, you know, when I was younger, man, all I had to do was think about dropping, you know, my excess and cutting. It was easy. Now I gotta work for it. It's hard, it's not easy, but we get it done. Thank you.